Gene here. Here's a short one. We've been talking in abstract fashion, and I don't know if people can follow it. I'm so far away from the confusion of youth that I don't know. So what I want to do now is provide a couple of real-world things I just thought of or saw today, and I want people to think about it and to realize that what I've been saying is that there are problems with logic and thinking and cowlicks that have to be addressed. Okay, there's one. So, I thought earlier, I recommend, this is your homework, everybody go watch an episode of House, House. House is a great show. Believe it or not, House is an English actor. I don't know how they do that with accents. They're amazing. And it essentially is Sherlock Holmes with his doctor friend, but in a New Jersey hospital. You must have seen it. Watch any one of them. But don't get hung up in the story too much. Get hung up on the process by which the disease is analyzed, the symptoms are analyzed, various prior events are analyzed, and an hypothesis, a hypothesis is made up. What am I talking about? We've been talking about assumptions. So what happens is, in each show, thanks to House's very, very solid logic, a consensus opinion, or his opinion, is arrived at, and that consensus opinion is basically based upon many symptoms and inputs. Sometimes they go to the house and they find a chemical in the house of the person who's sick. But anyway, all of this stuff is conflated together, so by the end, he makes a determination from all of the input as to a hypothesis. Hypothesis is basically nothing more than an assumption that you are admitting you're just starting with a guess. It's kind of a guess. It's a good guess. All right. So a hypothesis is a good guess. If you want to be technical, it's an induction. Induction means you take a whole bunch of information, you filter it all together, you use your common sense as best you can, and you come up with a final decision as to what's going on. You do this in your life every day. It does not produce a fact in the loose sense of the word. It produces an induction. And an induction is nothing more than a really good guess based upon evidence. Okay? So watch House. He's like a curmudgeon, and he gives everybody a hard time, but he listens carefully to what his staff says. He looks at the data, he talks to the patient, and at some point during the show, they all stand around in front of a whiteboard, and he does classic logical analysis on the whiteboard. And you have to watch that very clearly. Realize there is a procedure and a meaning to what he's doing. They list possible diseases, they list various events, and they go through it one by one, the doctors comment, and finally he comes up with a determination as to it's this or that. And then they work on that, and he's almost always right. There was one episode where he wasn't right, and the patient died. So the show ended with him down doing the autopsy. He was such a stickler for good logic. Understand that House is a brilliant analysis of how to work through problems. Make it a common reading or watching event. Okay, that's House. Now, just a little while ago, I actually made a comment on somebody else's page, a fine physician from England. And apparently the World Health Organization has announced that, oh my, the COVID, quote, vaccine, unquote, does actually cause multiple sclerosis. Now, you may not hear that anywhere else. You certainly won't hear it on the nightly news or from Google or Facebook. But that's their determination. Oh, yeah, it causes multiple sclerosis. The people who didn't want anything to do with it knew the dangers of an mRNA injection stuck in your body. But the reason that well, the first step is think about this whole process with COVID. How did that come about? There was never any test as to the injection you got. No test whatever. It was granted an emergency immunity or exception to the testing. What? So this chemical, mRNA, is injected into hundreds of millions of people based upon what? There wasn't even a test. Do you have a problem with this? Do you want to live in a world where the government can just give you a shot and say, oh, it's okay? The thing that I was interested in conveying was that at no point was this injection ever a vaccine. If you look up the word vaccine, a vaccine is designed to prevent you from getting a disease, whatever it might be. This was never designed to prevent you getting the disease. Pfizer even had it on its package. The media, the politicians, the Google, Facebook, elite, all call it a vaccine. So now doctors call it a vaccine. In fact, this particular doctor complaining about it called it a vaccine. So the word vaccine has been corrupted, it's gone. Remember I told you about words and logic and assumptions? So now the assumption is anything that they stick in your body by way of an injection is a vaccine. So if you're a heroin addict, good for you, you're self-medicating with a vaccine. Logic is defeated by greed and arrogance and stupidity, and you have to be able to see it. Or just get yourself some MS and other things. There was Toronto West Hospital about a month and a half ago, 2 hospitals. 4 middle-aged doctors got their 4th Pfizer shot. All 4, well, a lot of people got it, but 4 doctors from 2 hospitals died in a week. Is that evidence of anything, do you think? Does that make you feel comfortable that this is a good vaccine? All right, so that's that. Again, you have to look at the words. Don't accept anybody's words and don't ever slide by some vague description like vaccine. Oh, it's a vaccine. No, it's not. In the United States, political liberals are not liberals. That's a subversion of the word liberal. They're Marxist, socialists, whatever gets votes, that's what they are. So, okay, what was the other thing? Something else today. Oh, Australia. I just read this. This is why I decided to do this. Australia. Oh, some minister. So, there we go. I don't know. I'm trying this Android out.